Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. This is going to be actually a response. I'm going to do a few videos today, but this one's going to be a response to Robert Z's sealed vinyl question. And simply put, for those that may not have seen the video, Robert Z and his wife are kind of having a debate or competition, if you will, about keeping vinyl sealed. Where what I got from the video is she thinks it doesn't really make sense to keep your vinyl sealed. You know, if you're going to buy it and not enjoy the music off of it, like what's the point type thing. And Robert is more on the collector side of, you know, yeah, there are certain reasons to keep vinyl sealed, and he does it with some of his vinyl. And so I guess what they're kind of doing is asking us to respond. They kind of give a vote, and they're going to have a competition to see who's more correct, if you will. So definitely want to jump in on this, Rob. And, you know, Betty, love you to death, but I'm going to have to give Rob my vote on this. There are reasons to keep vinyl sealed, I think very good reasons. And even in my personal collection, I just looked up my database a little while ago, I have 124 records that are sealed out of my vinyl collection. So I guess maybe kind of the easiest way to go in and explain why. I think it's kind of a surfacey way to explain it, and also kind of a deeper way, I think, to explain it. But I think in general, and again, I know I'm generalizing here because you can't sum up everyone in one category or whatever, but I think a lot of times people that may not understand this wackiness would probably not understand why sealed vinyl is also so significant to a lot of collectors. And you know, there's elements to music that go for collectors. I think especially vinyl collectors. There are elements to music that go so far beyond just hearing and taking in the sound waves. And so, you know, there's all these tangible elements to music. You know, otherwise, if it was just about the sound waves, we wouldn't buy vinyl whatsoever. You know, basically everyone would be doing just iTunes. You know, you would take every song you own and put it in a little laptop this big or whatever, and that would be your musical life. But there are all these other tangible elements of music that we appreciate so much is why we collect vinyl, and one of those tangible elements is owning something like a sealed record. You know, I've always said when people sometimes ask, you know, why is this as opposed to iTunes or whatever else, you know, music taking up 2/3 of your house or whatever, you know, it's because I've had almost everyone I've ever introduced in my collection for the first time, they do two things. They come in and go, whoa, you weren't kidding, and then they say, it looks like a music store. I mean, everyone gives those same two responses, which is exactly what I'm kind of going for and what I do with my collection. I've never had anyone come in and look at my iTunes and go, whoa, you have 20,000 songs in your, that is, you know, I've never had anyone look at my computer and gawk about what's on, you know, whatever. So that kind of connects into the sealed vinyl thing, is that as vinyl record collectors, there are tangible pieces and tangible elements that add value and add a greater appreciation to actually owning the music. And maybe the easiest way to put it, because Robert, you used the dress as an example in your video, saying, and I don't know if your wife said that or you just brought it up as an example to play devil's advocate, but you were saying, you know, you don't go buy a dress and then take it home and put it in your closet and never wear it. He said that wouldn't make sense. Well, if you were buying clothes the way that we buy vinyl records, it would make sense. Because when we buy vinyl records, there's the listening aspect, there's also the collector's aspect. So a perfect example, if you've seen the movie Author, not the old version with Moore, but the new version with that English guy, whatever his name is, at the very beginning, when they're trying to show like how Author spends money and how he wastes money and everything, he's at an auction, and he bids on I think it's Abraham Lincoln's coat and his top hat. And I don't remember how much he paid for it in the movie, like $200,000 or something like. It was something just that huge. Well, at the very next scene, after he wins at the auction, he's walking down the street in the hat and the coat. I mean, just walking down the street, like, you know, not So obviously they put that scene together because it made all of us like laugh and go, there is no way that you go out and pay that much for Abraham Lincoln's top hat and his coat and then just go wear it. Every single one of us would expect someone that bought something like that, they're going to take it and put it in a museum. There's going to be some like shrine in a glass case that's kept at a certain temperature, just like all of that ridiculous stuff. That's what we would expect for someone who bought an item like that. Well, it's the same way with I don't know, pick anything else. A car collector, someone who's wealthy enough to really collect a lot of different automobiles. If they go out and buy the car from James Bond's, whatever movie that's one of a kind, and they buy it at an auction for $300,000, you don't expect to see them running down to Walmart to pick some toiletries up in the next week in that car. You don't say, you spent $300,000 on a car and you don't even drive it. How come I didn't see, when I asked you to go to McDonald's the other day, why didn't you take the James Bond car? Nobody would say that. You would all, pretty much, I would think, you would all say, no, that car is going to be put in a showroom, it's probably never going to be driven, it's going to be waxed every single day, all of that stuff. We would expect that. So when it comes to vinyl collecting and sealed vinyl records, we are the exact same way. We are like the car collector, we are like the antique collector, we are like some of those people that go to auctions and buy these ridiculous things, and we take them home and we don't use them. If you got a gun that General Lee used in some battle or whatever, you're not going to ask that person, why aren't you taking that gun out duck hunting every other? You're not going to do that. That's another example. I'm just kind of thinking of all kinds of crap, and I'm just rambling. If you get a autographed guitar from someone, and you take that guitar and you go hang it on the wall, you don't go, why aren't you playing that guitar? You're like, no, because it's autographed. It's a collector's piece. It's unique. So I hang it on the wall and I look at it and I get so much pleasure just out of seeing it every single day. You don't go, how come you're not playing that guitar? So that's what it is with sealed vinyl for us. There's just some things that have this collectible value, and you bring it in, and it's a little more special than some of the other things in our collection, and it becomes the Abraham Lincoln top hat of our collection. And so that's kind of the motivation, I think, behind keeping vinyl sealed, or at least one of the main motivations. Now, Rob, you also asked that we show, some of our sealed stuff. This is probably the one part of my collection where I've gotten the most questions about keeping it sealed, because again, I think I have 124 of my records in my collection are sealed. But my entire Nirvana collection is sealed. I have the CDs and I listen to it on iTunes and that type of thing, but the vinyl collection is sealed. Now, one of my motivations for keeping the Nirvana collection sealed, and this is something that just kind of randomly happened, I also think about my collection from the standpoint of one day it's going to pass on to someone, and I sit there and imagine, what if my dad would have been a vinyl collector and he would have passed on to me a sealed Led Zeppelin, 1 through Song Remains the Same, a brand new sealed Led Zeppelin collection, or a brand new sealed Black Sabbath collection, every single album. I mean, that would be something if I received right now, I would think, holy cow, that is awesome. So sometimes, for some reason, I've always felt that way about my Nirvana collection. It's just something that I would like to think, when it's passed on to someone who really appreciates it, for them to get my Nirvana collection and say, holy cow, this is a brand new sealed Nirvana collection. And for some reason, that motivated me to keep my Nirvana collection sealed. So, I look at my Nirvana Bleach, which is a brand new sealed copy. I have my Nirvana Incesticide, again, brand new sealed copy. Nevermind. And in my collection, as you're flipping through, anytime you see the little sticker right here in the middle on the front, that means it's a sealed copy. It just says Probably not clear there. It just says sealed. I'm sorry, I'm going to say unplugged. In Utero, it's also a sealed copy. Unplugged. I've had a hard time not opening this one too, but I do have the CD and the cassette too. And then Live at Ready, also a sealed copy. Nice 2 LP set there. So that's the one part of my collection I tend to catch the most flack about keeping sealed. But again, I have 124 total albums that are sealed, and there is a pleasure that you really get out of it. So anyway, there's my response. There's my Rob. There's my vote, Rob. Again, Betty, I hope that maybe gave you some type of understanding of why your husband's so crazy and does some of the things he does. And even when I saw that Led Zeppelin, that classic albums that you had sealed, I've always wanted some of those classic album Zeppelin pieces in my collection. But when you first showed it and you said that it was sealed, I was just like, oh my gosh, do not open that thing. That was my first response when you started talking about it. So, Rob, don't do it on that one, man. That's an awesome piece to own, incredible piece to have sealed, and I would definitely keep it that way. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. And as always, thanks for checking out the video, and looking forward to seeing what the final tallies are for you, Rob. All right, take care, guys.